Tim Trent, I believe, is on the phone with us.
Sexy man right here.
With regard to our interview with Shelley.
Yeah, great questions and concerns. I'd like you to elaborate, Tim, maybe on your thoughts.
Well, Shelley Callahan is the executive director of the Mohawk Valley Resource Center for Refugees. The Mohawk Valley extends from Amsterdam, New York, to west of Rome.
Correct. Thanks to our governor.
Why are all the refugees resettled by this agency concentrated in the city of Utica, where the Utica City schools have to cope with the challenges of these people with diverse languages from all over the world? That's one of the factors, in my opinion.
You said all refugees. Let's go with, can we agree on maybe the majority? Tim?
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
You said all refugees are settled by this group here in Utica. I would go with maybe the majority.
I'm saying the refugees that this agency settles.
Most of them.
The people that this agency is bringing in don't know anything about this area, and where they end up is, I'm sure, heavily influenced by decisions and practices of this agency.
Well, I posed the question earlier, Tim. I posed the question to myself. If I were relocating somewhere else, and if you were, wouldn't you want to be placed nearby to folks that spoke your language?
And the next big city in the Mohawk Valley in regards to Utica, traveling east down the thruway, Tim, is Amsterdam. I'm not sure if you've ever been to Amsterdam, but there is a major influx of Spanish refugees.
Yes, there were a lot of the Spanish people in Amsterdam worked in the carpet mills and were brought to Amsterdam by the carpet mill owners probably 50 or 75 years ago. I'm familiar with all of that.
So how about answering the question yourself? If you were relocated elsewhere to a place that didn't speak English predominantly, wouldn't you want to be placed next to other English-speaking folks that you could identify with?
I might want that, but I would also recognize that I would be a guest, and the host nation that was welcoming me or inviting me to reside there as a refugee from other places, I would take guidance from them on where to settle. And I think it's grossly unfair and a tremendous burden on City of Utica agencies and Oneida County social service agencies for this agency to concentrate such a heavy percentage of their refugees in the Utica area.
All right,
when asked where you settle, where her agency settles them, she says, "Well, East Utica, Cornhill, South Utica." I noted she didn't mention West Utica because she knows that there are people in West Utica who are challenging some of the decisions of this agency.
Well, your opposition is duly noted, and I hope you also can appreciate the answers that were given on that topic. So next up, what's next on the list there? Well,
as an example of what I'm talking about, a heavy concentration of Mohawk Valley Refugee Center resettlement families are in Cornhill, and Martin Luther King School has been put on the state education at-risk list because of the challenges that learning English as a second language poses for the educators and the students, all concentrated in that school, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And
again, the Mohawk Valley Refugee or Resource Center for Refugees ought to resettle refugees that they bring and sponsor here across the entire Mohawk Valley, so that school districts and community governments and taxpayers in places like New Hartford, Clinton, Holland, Patton, Boonville, and on down through the Mohawk Valley, Little Falls, Herkimer, Ilion, St. Johnsville, Johnstown.
Okay, we got the idea. Yep, point taken.
But and then I'd like to know why they don't do it. I'd also like to know specifically what percentage or how many of the refugees that the center has resettled into this area are currently self-sustaining versus what percentage are sustained by social services provided by especially Oneida County government and educational services provided by Utica City School District versus other school districts in the Mohawk Valley.
Okay, very good.
I think you make some great points, Tim. And the other factor is, would you? I could see your idea of social services and the burden that you may say that projects on the county and the city as well. What would you think would happen if the Mohawk Valley Refugee Center was placed in Rome, for example, or Amsterdam? Do you think that those populated Amsterdam would be the higher or highly populated area for refugees? And another question, would you feel better if the name was changed and if it was just the Refugee Center?
Well, I think if they're going to settle refugees into a particular geographic area, their name should reflect the geographic area that they're settling refugees into.
Utica Coffee is now in Clinton. Should they only sell their coffee to Uticans?
I'm sorry?
Utica Coffee is now in Clinton, and their name Utica is in their business. Should they only sell coffee to the folks that come from Utica?
I'm not sure selling coffee is equivalent to importing refugees.
No, but you have a right to brand your business however you want.
It's the name, Mohawk Valley Refugee Center. So we'll take the Mohawk Valley off.
I think we ought to put a geographic designation on that agency that reflects the geography that they're active in, because they're not just creating an asset for the region. They're also bringing a burden.
All right. Well, very good. Tim, thanks for your comments.
Great discussion.
We're up against a break. We really appreciate it. 624-0870 is our phone line. You can reach us that way. You can also text us at 623-0373. And this discussion can continue on the Talk of the Town.
This is what we're here for.